So, okay, I admit, because I was too busy trying to figure out if I was going to be corrupted or not by working for this man, I did miss the fact that I did forget that, I did forget this character's name. Like, you don't really get, you don't get to basically, you really don't get to keep track of where exactly your character is supposed to be going with a quest marker. So you really have to pay super extra attention, I admit. I'm not saving. Why? So let's talk to the man named Manana, I think.
So, how'd you like our harbor?
Labor Utopia.
It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains. Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk.
Yep, I had to talk to Manana. The actual person who told us how to get to see the boss in the first place would of course have a key. Obviously. Ever say you had the key to the door?
Key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open?
Belonged to a weasel.
Oh, say no more. I got you.
Alright.
I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say.
I'm not opening the door for myself. I'm opening it for all. Okay, so you're picking your political alignment. That's definitely communism. But I think I want to go with a liberal approach. So, solid opportunity ticket, muscle grinder.
I'm not so sure about the hustle grind, but you know, it doesn't matter. It's a good thing you're doing. Thanks. What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the wailing in rags. That's all I know. Our organization is what you call compartmentalized. Means we keep out of each other's business.
Okay, but where did you get the key from?
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. We talked about life and things that really, truly matter. None of this mess we're in. This jiving and juggling. What's it for? To feed our children, I guess.
Got it.
I'm more of a philosophical dock worker, see. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are, what we are fighting for.
Good dog, D. Gotta run. Okay, now back to the greenhouse. I got lost. Last episode, I'm not gonna lie. So I just kind of futz around trying to figure out what to do about some stuff. Super glad I figured out that you could buy a raincoat, though. That's nice. Our money is useful for very practical stuff. We also stare at the sky a lot and contemplate our navels while not actually looking at our navels. It's a very weird experience. The thought cabinet takes us to some very interesting place, and it's a very cool mechanic, if I do say so myself. We also met some people, but honestly, meeting them is not super important right now. So those are big games. We have a lot of time before we can think about stuff like that. Alright. Should be the place.
This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head. You try to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of rattling of the handle to loosen the bolt. Finally, the door unlocks with a small clack. Thoughts race through your head. The sound of the key turning still echoes in the yard. Hopefully no one heard. Good job. Let's go now. I'm sure there's nothing interesting in there. There's nothing else to do than to leave and tell Everard. No conceivable reason for you to intrude on the premises. As you hold the open door, you can feel the air moving. A little draft, a whistle.
Let's see. Alright. Alright. There's no conceivable reason for us to go inside. We're not going to take anything.
A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst mysterious symbols. A broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes, and others.
Alright. Yeah, we're pretty much done here. Just want to move on. This game is supposed to be one of those things where, again, it's not technically like 1 hour long videos where I'm basically playing by myself and I have to give my commentary on what I see. It makes it very difficult to constantly keep some good dialogue going because it's so huge, man, and we have to run all the way back to talk to this dude too. God. Alright, yeah. Yeah, I don't need to bother that dude anymore, it's just... Oh, God. Oh, man. Okay. I did look up some more mechanical stuff, though, just for the sake of figuring out how in-depth the role-playing can technically get. But yeah, this is fine. Oh god. Right, downstairs. Jesus Christ, okay. Like, I don't mind the fact that we have to explore the map. I don't mind that. But it's just so hard to play. Like, games like this should be played as blind as possible. Especially if you want. But there's also a risk of playing in such a way that you're just wasting a lot of time, you know? Especially for something that's supposed to be brisk like this Let's Play. But not brisk, like content that's meaningfully kept in such a way that the viewer doesn't get bored of me.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
Alright, open the door he asked me. Can we discuss the murder now?
I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
Huh. The deal wasn't for me to go inside, so we didn't.
You're right, Harry. You only had to unlock the door, which you did. So we're all good here. Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good.
You said the lynching and the strike are related. How?
By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps.
What do you mean, you walrus?
Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
You mean our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire?
He performs a motion as if spraying bullets from a machine gun.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If I actually had to see that in person, it would be the most... Ooh. Can't even begin to think about how silly that would look.
Ardent killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramoritsa, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant.
Go on.
Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container.
They move the container.
Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it.
Oh. Well, you know, the size of the office does contort to what the inside of the crane. That actually is really interesting. Having a mobile office, I'm not gonna lie, is a really cool perk.
About me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types. One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
Oh, so our murder victim had it coming,
By
basically.
Negotiator, you mean Joyce?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we
Oh,
don't
jeez.
not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill.
An entire neighborhood of killers.
Who exactly did the pushing?
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood. Making sure everything runs smoothly. They're like you guys. Idealistic people who want to make sure bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
What do you want, dude?
So these idealists killed our victim?
One day Titus Hardy, leader of
Titus.
this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land."
Jeez,
He
it's a piece of
probably
burden.
worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
Aren't you worried we might arrest them for this?
Yeah, you're giving up your hard-earned... Well, you're giving these people up a little too easily for my taste.
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
Lawyer girl?
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
How do you know they were hired by a shipping company?
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry.
really don't.
These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding.
God.
And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates.
So you believe the scabs were organized by the security contractor?
You said it. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes.
Alright, talk about the crew then.
Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
Interesting. Who's second in command?
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Martinez and Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
So where can I find these men just like me?
You know what, Harry? I got a feeling they're gonna show up in full force tomorrow.
The lieutenant marks something in his notebook.
I could use your backing. Could you guys hard bars to cooperate?
But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
When you meet this Titus, tell him about this. See what he has to say.
Also,
Authority
Harry,
as well.
Here's 5 real.
I don't need it. Alright, fine.
The lieutenant watches you pocket the banknote. He looks a little puzzled.
Good boy. A real team player. Now, do you have any more questions?
Yeah, no.
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yet. Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
Oh man. What's that supposed to mean? I'm more left than you are.
You're saying it, but I don't believe you. You know how it is, company snitches, agent provocateurs everywhere. I'm barricaded in this fortress of mine, and I need to get a message out. Will you help me?
And what would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
Fine, if I happen to be there, I can ask them.
You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here. You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear there is some trouble with the waterlock, but they should fix it by Wednesday morning. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then, I'll know you're a solid socialist.
Socialism. Okay. I'm gonna leave now.
See you soon, Debardeur. Just kidding, but not too much.
Okay. I can level up now. Can't do that. We're locked in. No. Alright. Threaten people. I'll play my strengths. I'm not super interested in the electrochemistry. Level up by drugs. Shivers. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's fine do that. Okay. So alright, let's see here. Badge. Alright, let's see. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. You always think you have to keep going in the same direction, and until it's too late you realize you need to go down a certain place. Like, going up and down these stairs is a bit of a pain.
The rotting man lies on his... The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Alright, what's a field autopsy?
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
Actually, it appears I've forgotten what field autopsy is.
Fine. It's a 3-part form to be filled out on the scene by the detectives responsible. One takes notes, the other dictates. The goal is to establish cause of death. A scalpel is not...
Give me a
always-
scalpel for it, sorry.
I hope this is one of those cases. Latex gloves are, however.
Do you have a pair of gloves?
Unfortunately, no.
I have garden gloves, maybe they're enough.
They are better than nothing. Tell you what, I perform the anatomical side of things, while you will take notes.
No problem.
In your paperwork, officer, just fill out the field autopsy form.
You're not gonna believe this. I think I've lost my paperwork.
Now they only have one paperwork too.
Officer, what haven't you lost?
So, my disco trousers.
Yes, barely. I can give you my paperwork. There's an autopsy form there. Several, actually. But only if it helps move things along.
I'm sorry I lost everything.
Yes, well,
It's okay to cry, Runkari.
Let's work off yours for now.
right. The autopsy form is near the end.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with,
One assistant.
That's you.
Only the first question, I already don't know the answer.
Not an energetic start to an autopsy, I agree.
Alright.
Messed up. Kuno feels pity.
Might as well try to get these
Leave
boots,
it empty, officer.
I guess.
the corpse lies there, indifferent to your retrograde amnesia. The next box says,
Coroner's case number,
AK-57. Next.
name,
Next.
date of birth,
NA.
age.
Roughly 50.
the corpse
Alright.
looks ageless, like meat on a hook.
Race.
Mondial. Subgroup Occidental. As per your observation.
The pudgy mess looks neither mondial nor occidental. It doesn't
Jesus
even
Christ.
look human. The next line says,
Sex.
Fucky, fucky.
Be quiet.
Male.
Pigs can have sex.
nor does he look male. with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
Date of death.
We're still going with March 4th, 51.
Alright.
What else?
Shit. Like the date
9.
of the idea. That's
Body
really close to the character
identified
there.
by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
Like a core. The core.
K
Core of the history.
57
Or treatment.
0503 0815 listens motionless with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only
Man.
one box remains.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
Agreed. No treatment.
A silent nod. The lieutenant places his gloved hand on the corpse's chest, as if in preparation. Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-Delorian burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then,
We should start the post-mortem.
the corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copy paper tries to answer why.
External examination summary.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
Good. Get wrecked, little punk.
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than anyone else.
Alright.
Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a cargo lashing belt around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age.
He's athletically
Preservation
built.
is good. Ambient temperature below freezing.
Then we did describe him as having a...
more than the lieutenant compensated for. This buster's actual height is about 1.85. And no, you could not take him straight on.
And we're gonna write the actual height, ironically, here.
Of course, I undercompensated. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
I'm not touching that.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity. You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest. Consistent with predation. Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the bell so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Yeah.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See?
Dexterity is my middle name, dude.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Huh.
After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow. Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark.
Oh boy.
The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
As it ought to. This is where its grip on the curdled meat is gentlest, pulling up.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia...
No! Let's get out and see!
I fucking knew it!
Genitalia is male and
That's our
unremarkable.
daylight is
No
everywhere.
evidence of injury.
But those are here and there. Alright.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia...
This is definitely not a game for children. Jesus Christ.
Around the crotch. You should touch it. Doesn't feel like anything. Just cold flesh under your finger. Unremarkable and unalive.
My pig's so fucking ill right now.
Oh, your pig's pretty sick, I gotta say.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are all combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip.
Bullets have bitten little pieces out.
Jesus Christ.
It must have been excruciating, especially the hip. Before you is a temple of pain that knew little tenderness in life.
In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
This is the body of a soldier, a mercenary.
We have a real museum here. Battles, wars.
So it wasn't just LARPing. Oh, wait. Maybe the armor's connected to the LARPing stuff.
Last item, hands.
The hand is surprisingly heavy to lift, filled with decay liquids. Feels as though it could explode if squeezed harder. You're suddenly repulsed, so much so you feel compelled to drop it.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Internal examination.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
You don't even have a joke.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care for... I'm not smart enough to conceptualize a joke here.
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house at night.
Ooh, let me out there. Okay, let me out there.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured.
Oh.
The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable. Respiratory system.
He's really doing it. The dead man's teeth cut into his gloved hands.
Oh, thank God he's wearing gloves.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in...
Cam, you are putting in excellent work. You are a great
No
partner.
scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like throwing up. Straight in that mouth. No, you don't. You can keep it in. You can keep anything in. You manage to suppress the contractions trying to enter your stomach. All it takes is concentration. Through it, you see nothing but darkness. More meat and darkness. Mute silence as always.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus. Hepatobiliary, Na. Same for toxicology and serology, Na.
Sure.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits lividity in the lower extremities, feet, hands, and neck. Gastrointestinal. Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
Why not?
What's next on the list?
Description summary.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
Be thorough if you want maximum results.
Head, chest,
Bite
and
marks.
Bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer?
I'm gonna go with post-mortem.
Agreed. Next injury?
Contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Non-fatal.
Right. Next.
Ligature marks. Oh, what's a 4th injury field for?
Nothing. Just in case.
Alright, ligature marks then.
A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured. The cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible. Think for a moment. There's time. Don't rush. What was that about no clawing around the neck? You'd be clawing for your life.
Fatal injury.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
I first had to go.
Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. Then, given the state of decay here, I consider establishing the victim's ethnicity a minor success.
Go,
We
Cam.
were thorough with the list of injuries, too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
Very professional.
Well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink is in order?
What now?
Now we put him in a body bag and I drive him to Forborg for processing.
The lieutenant looks at the dead man one more time, then at his notebook, then at the corpse again. You tilt your head, also looking at the corpse.
Alright. Let's try this again. Yo! Where have you gone?
Into the wild pale yonder.
But where is that?
In the past.
But who...
Way out west.
But who are you?
I'm a joke. Look at me.
You are now, but who were you when you were alive? No, I'm not gonna laugh at you, sir. You were murdered. There's nothing funny about you.
There is nothing funny about jokes either.
But who were you when you were alive?
You're a killer. A fucker and a killer.
Takes one to know one.
I have another question for
Go
you.
ahead, Kobo.
What is happening?
What do you mean?
Talking to you.
It's the power of your imagination. Go ahead. Ask me more questions.
Why do I love questions so much?
Love questions?
Yeah, why do you love questions so much?
Because you're a copperoony. Look at all of them go.
Yeah.
You want more questions?
Give me a comical amount of questions.
Coming right up, Copperoony Rooney. This is getting upbeat now.
Ooh, was my name Rooney?
Fuck no. You're no Rooney.
It's obviously not who I am.
Between you and me, your name is probably Harry.
I feel like we're getting a lot of Harry lately.
You might be onto something there.
What if I've gotten something terrible?
Because you have.
So who killed you?
Love did me in, brother Copo. It was love all along.
Love or communism?
Huh?
You said love you, but when you fell down you said it was communism.
You're misquoting me, Rooney. I said communism killed me. Love did me in.
Can you ask me a question?
Sure, Lobo. I can ask you a question. Why are you doing this?
What?
Looking at my face. Motionless. Looking into my eye. Standing here. Why are you investigating my murder?
I don't have anything else to do. This case is all I have.
I'm all you have? Then you truly lost it all, brother. You let the world drag it all away from you. And what it left, you pissed away. And here we are.
Well, enough of that.
Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible. Also, see me in your dreams.
Ooh, that was long. Let's see here. Alright, so what else can I do right now? We're not going to say into processing yet. So let's see here.
The man from Heimdall stares. You know the story by heart at this point. Nothing new or remarkable catches your eye. You know the story by heart.
Now I just need to look for ways to pass the time so I can get rid of Kim. Get him to sleep. So back to the bookstore we go.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular. This is entirely, completely you. You have found rows and rows of Heimdallame, maybe 100. Those snow crabs are worse than this. Not even close. Man from Heimdall in hell. Man from Heimdall and the forest. Nothing of interest. Only silence and the cosmic background pain radiation.
That's horrible. I had a 90% chance to do this. That sucks.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes, an endless variety of source books. There's also a large... There's a box that says nonsense for anemic Beano-clads. You take the legal documents out of the envelope, a 12 to 40 month construction period, and the zoning plan in the addendum. The youth center cuts it.
I'm no property lawyer, but it...
Well, okay then. None to do, end the video here once again. We have enough time left in the day for part 3 of this.